683 show.
Welcome everyone to the 6873 show. Today we are going to be delving into UFOs. So please join us. I think it's going to be an interesting subject. My name is Captain Rin. The other hosts of the show, of course, are...
I am Rossi, and this wonderful woman next to us is...
Toki, you have changed.
Little green life form.
Proof of alien life.
Well, as you know, I am everybody's favorite fish stick healed, and I believe. Okay, I'm getting abducted. Okay, you will have your favorite fish stick healed. I'm afraid I won't be here for this episode. Oh my god! I smell. Whoa! They can't make up their mind. I smell onions.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Have fun being
Bye.
probed.
Save the extra parts for me.
Did I do that? I come in peace.
And I'm Ion. Welcome to today's episode.
It's gonna be nuts.
So, there was actually a report out that said roughly 90% of the world population actually do believe in UFOs and actually think it's a natural part of existence. What are your guys' view on that?
Well, I definitely think there is other
Bro.
life out there, because let's be honest, I mean, if anybody thinks that we are the only life in existence or only planet in the galaxy that is here, then Jesus Christ, that's insane. It's
Yeah, that's a little I'm the master of everything. Well, especially when there was even a very well-known scientist came out with a formula saying that it is scientifically impossible that we are the only life out there. Especially with some of the new findings where they're finding literally, thousands of planets out there, and many of them are do actually fall within what they call the Goldilocks zone. So far from their sun where they can actually house water, stuff like that. And given that new evidence or this new scientific finding, I mean, it is scientifically impossible for us to be the only sentient race out there.
exactly.
Mhm.
I mean,
I'm still waiting for them to open the doors of Area 51.
So it was so funny. So here in the States, and I know that the UK was actually wanting disclosure too, but here in the States there was actually a high-level official who actually leaked some videos a couple of years or about a year or so back, showing an encounter between a fighter pilot and a UFO, and actually chasing this UFO. High-resolution pictures, everything like that, and he deliberately leaked it. And so they actually went through this whole court thing and demanding full disclosure. Well, they won the case, saying that the U.S. government has to disclose, but how they're doing it, they're basically just disclosing without disclosing, I guess you could say.
well, let's be honest, they can say kind of what they want, can't they? If you don't know what they've actually got, then they could make up any crap and say, "Oh, here you go, that'll keep them quiet," sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
It's swamp gas reflecting over the. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but someone who believes pigeons are security cameras for the system, that's kind of another term for saying, they're
Nut
kind
job.
of foolish.
Nut jobs, yeah, or flat earthers, or the
Yeah.
the little gray person has something.
And I change back now, please.
No, you're gonna have to suffer.
I thought you were gonna probe us afterwards.
Oh boy.
I demand my probing.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I thought I came in peace, but
Melanie.
apparently not.
Melanie, Ren needs help. He needs pegging.
Oh dear lord. I had a cup on
Anyways,
this one, but apparently it didn't work. So
It's
I
on
just
the other
picked my
hand.
nose instead.
You have no nose. You have
She's-
literally a slit in your face.
She's probing her nostrils herself.
She is examining the booger.
All right, but yeah,
Yes, you can
everyone
change
does
back.
believe that there is aliens out there. It's just that whether we get to actually have physical contact with them is the main question. Because I'm waiting for one
Well,
day I can just wake up and look over and like Glee Glorp is over there looking at me like, "How you doing?"
Did he just refer to me?
Yes, he did.
He did, yeah.
He
You're,
was
you're
looking in your
Glorp.
general direction.
That
I
sounds
do
so
come in peace.
janky, it's unreal.
But
But yes, we are all waiting for the day that they actually do come out to talk to us physically. Because we ain't having
Well-
Independence Day bullshit.
Hmm.
We don't want that.
Well, like I think it was Michio Chikaku and some of the other high-level scientists, were asked, why, if there's, all this scientific
Sorry,
stuff
can you-
saying that there's.
Can you say that name again? That sounded like you were trying to sneeze then.
Michiachu Kaku.
Yes.
yeah, that was a big sneeze.
Uh-huh. Yes. So you said it that quickly, it was like, what?
It sounded like sneeze. I bless you.
Yeah. My name is
And
Asneez.
Michiachu, if you're watching this, I am so sorry.
I just honestly didn't hear him pronounce the name. It just... What? Yes.
Oh dear.
But anyway,
Say that name
like
3
a lot
times
of
when
these,
you're drunk.
it's an impossibility. There's a lot of high-level scientists that kind of agree that they're asked if there's all this scientific evidence and all sorts of, why haven't they made contact with us now? And the plain simple fact is, honestly,
'Cause
we're
we're too
not at a
dumb.
level for them worth. Yeah, honestly, essentially that's what it comes down to. We are not at a level for them to have any interest in us. We're not much more than a side, just something out there. I mean, we're not intelligent enough for them to actually come down and actually want to have a relationship
But
with this. Not only that, but we're actually very hostile. Why would they come here when we can't? When we're all we can do is kill ourselves? What are you gonna do with another race?
who says they're not already here?
Mhm.
I mean,
That's the
there's,
thing, is
there's
there
a
has been.
theory that there is a theory that the Queen is the Queen of England is a lizard person.
There's a lot of high officials.
I
They
know
say
her
they run the
skin.
world.
I know her skin looks like that, but I doubt it.
But then again, you got to wonder about her age and all that lot. Is she and how long she's been reigning as queen for. You got
That's
to wonder,
true. That's true.
Well, we can say the
Listen.
same thing from the U.S. We can say the same thing from the U.S., but Uncle Touchy does not agree with everyone. We agree that he is possibly from a different
Touchy.
planet because he does
I
get
love that
confused
name.
sometimes of what he needs to do. But
Well, I
we
mean,
do accept him. We do accept
Yeah,
him for who he is, but we got to remember, if there's not a dog treat tied to the back of an RC car, he will not follow you.
I wonder if like you say, Uncle
Or-
Touchy is the I reckon he was the the like the bottom feeder of their race, and it's a case of let's make him feel special. That we can send him somewhere. I know. Earth's a shithole. We'll send him there.
On today's
Why do I
episode of
get the
Earth.
Why do I get the feeling that it's like a cover up for Man Bear Pig?
Man Bad Pig.
Man Bear Pig.
I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
just
it's true.
saying, but
I don't want to get political, but honestly, if Joe Biden is he means to be a good guy, but he's kind of the person that we just look at and go, "You fucking what, mate?"
Well, the thing
why are we
is,
talking
I
about
mean,
that?
if it's not on his teleprompter, he don't have a clue.
Exactly. But why are we talking about that now?
It's the
Listen,
aliens
Because
sitting
okay.
behind
I
the
believe he's
teleprompter.
from a different world.
No,
Yeah,
he's
it's
just
the
Yeah.
from
aliens
a
behind the
different
teleprompter.
institution.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Mental.
True, true.
Mental
yeah.
escapee.
But the thing is, and I know this is put on YouTube, and you should not believe everything you see on the internet. But there was literally a call into a show, and it's all like we see this big conspiracy theory radio host in a small camper in the middle of nowhere broadcasting, and this person actually called him live on the show saying he is from Area 51. He was somebody they fired, and he literally said, "Listen, you don't want to know what they have in Area 51. It looks like it's deserted, but it's not." And he kept on rambling about they're gonna find me. I can't stay on for long because they are gonna find me. And of course, he cuts out in the end. Now again, this could be all staged because we know, like this, it could all be staged. But also when you said like the pilots with that whole ship thing, like a UFO, that's even caught interest here through Discovery Channel, where they actually leaked photos of UFOs, which again, poor quality, CGI, I don't know. But I cannot, for the love of whatever exists up there, say that I don't believe that we're the only life form. There are other universes out there. That's what I believe. And we can't be the only one. There might be like a different version of us out there.
Yes.
But the solar system is
Multiverse.
so exactly. It's so huge, and there are black holes everywhere and such, and they can't just lead to destruction. They have to lead somewhere.
Well, one other thing too, this is kind of a sad story. So I lived in Nevada and around that area for a long time. And there was this one person that there's this one older person that I got to know quite well. And, because I was always into UFOs and stuff like that. And he was actually, he showed me all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. And he was one of the electricians who actually helped build Area 51. He is the Sparky that actually laid all the wiring and stuff for that. And he was a member of like a 20-man crew to do all the wiring when they were building Area 51. He says what you see on the surface is maybe 10% of it. The rest of it is actually subterranean.
Yeah.
And he was laying all the wiring, the conduit, and everything for that institution. But the bad thing is like when I met him, he was the last surviving member because they were using a new type of nuclear plant to power the base, and it had started leaking, and every one of his crew had died because of radiation poisoning eventually, and he was the last surviving. In fact, I remember the last time I seen him, he was literally sitting in a slot machine, putting coins in, pulling it, says, "I'm the last, and I'm gonna die eventually here pretty soon." So, but he was telling me about all the stuff when they were actually building Area 51, and he was quite an old guy when I met him. And It says, yeah, it says what you see on the surface is just scratching the surface. That place is huge and it's spread out over that entire area.
Well, I
And he
mean, if
says,
you
yeah,
see,
even
yeah.
Mhm.
I'll continue.
it says even one of the reasons they actually built that was to house what was brought from Wright-Patterson Field.
Mm,
Eventually what Bob Lazar helped reverse engineer and stuff like that. And he says, yeah, it
yeah.
was there. That was one of the first buildings they put up at S4. Was to house that, and the rest of the thing was built around it to basically reverse engineer it. That's the thing is a lot of not every UFO sighting is extraterrestrial,
Mm,
because some of them are
mm,
reverse engineered from
mm-hmm.
this technology.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
also you can see like how we have developed when it comes to the Air Force, like the drones and everything. I've seen like also a big ass show that was it in China for New Year's, but they had like drones doing a whole like
Yes, the choreographed drones.
animation. Exactly. Who says you can't use that for the military? I mean, for fuck's sake, you can make it look like a UFO, and you can make it like go like the speed of light or whatever. I don't
They
believe
do actually use drones in the military now.
they do.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
I've seen that too. But who says that they don't have that technology already? Like you say,
Yeah.
Area 51, you only see the surface. Even air photos, I believe they're edited, but you literally just see like, is it barracks or such? Like the long ass
Well,
buildings.
What
see
you
some.
see is a total of 4 hangars, 2 barracks, and 2 towers. The most popular
Yeah, and
used one in that
Mm,
area would be the barracks, because those barracks lead to the underground.
yeah, but I mean like the air photo itself, and you see a couple vehicles. That's it. That's literally what they want to show you. I don't know if it has changed. You guys out there can go in, you can try and Google it. If you find an air photo or anything of Area 51 that's just a little bit suspicious, not the one you edit yourself. It's okay if you draw a little alien dude, but other than that,
So
try send it to us.
my question I have about Area 51 though, do you reckon they have the pathogen in the?
Yes.
The who, the how, the what
I don't
now?
even know what that
Yes.
is, but yes.
The pathogen.
Oh,
Basically, the ingredients to make everyone a furry.
Yes.
I mean, you have seen people experiment with like, what was it?
Gene
Snake
splicing, CRISPR technology.
poison. Like,
Mhm.
okay, the Chinese have like from rhinos, they have like any kind of, and I'm just gonna say it, dick that's dried up in a jar because it helps with something. Apparently, it helps with Ren's arm.
Virulency, yeah.
Your tracking's gone burr.
Tracking, isn't it wonderful?
Yeah,
But,
mine's playing up at the moment. This arm's not working quite correctly.
Yeah. The thing is, who
I'm
says
not gonna say
they're
anything
not
about that.
onto something? I mean, you have seen people who want. There was this insane guy. He wanted to be a dog. They had a dead dog. They cut off the nose, the muscle, the ears too, and he literally voluntarily got the parts sewn on his face. Of
Oh my
course,
word.
stupidity hit very quickly because the parts started to decay.
Yeah, I was
As
gonna
you can
say
see,
it.
everyone in America is just a little bit weird. But we don't let that decide us. We just look at the Area 51 aerial shots and go, ooh, what's next on this episode?
I think he
Oh,
probably escaped from there.
it's funny. So like when I first started playing with Google Earth, many years ago, one of the first places I looked up, of course, living in Nevada was because I lived literally right outside of Area 51. Like I lived in one of the outskirt towns. And
Field
it's
trip.
so funny. You go there on Google Earth at the time, and this is Google Earth.
Is
They
that
have
Roswell?
all this technology. No, that's actually another place. There's all this
Oh.
technology to remove clouds, but over Area 51 there was this suspicious large cloud left there. You
People
could
fart
obviously
sometimes.
tell it was CG, but there was just this cloud over the entire terrain.
Now that
Toxic fart.
it's now
Mhm.
that everyone knows that it is real, they're probably going to remove it. They're going to remove that little cloud from over Area 51. We know it's
Mhm.
there. We know they're doing experiments. As long as they make an uwu bomb, we're good.
Yes, I'd be happy with the Uwu bomb.
I mean, if it can look like this, sure, go ahead.
Mhm.
If I can look like
If
this,
I look like a donkey, I
yes.
don't want to sign up for it. Just saying.
Yeah, but he always says that.
Says the arse next to me.
Is that
But
because
okay,
Well,
yeah.
everyone,
Well,
Are
here's
you-
another thing too. Well, another
Wait,
thing
who was talking
too
first?
is
Did your voice just crack?
my voice never cracks.
you boys,
You sounded
your
like
balls dropping?
15-year-old
He's going for
voice crack.
he's going for a
Go for-
he's going for a second puberty.
No,
It's a
that's Menti.
damn aliens. Okay, they've
Wait,
been
no,
probing me
that's
too
an
much.
animal.
we don't need to know what you and Melanie been doing behind closed doors, but please keep it to yourself.
As I say, Melanie's not under the table grabbing his balls, is she?
Maybe.
No,
No.
not as far as I can see, but okay.
No.
You were
But
saying?
as far as
Anyways.
like disclosure and stuff like that, it's funny because you take there was a case here in the States in Aurora, Texas, back in 1898, I want to say. There was a UFO that had crashed into a small town. And this is, one of the first true documented, because it was in the news and everything like that. It was a normal documentation. And it was in this alien had crashed, and and they had called everyone and says, we don't know what this is. They said, oh well, this is not obviously from not from our world. They took the sole inhabitant that had died during the crash. They had buried him in the cemetery and cleaned up the wreckage, and it was really no big deal. Then you fast forward to 1947, war, all this other stuff, and there was actually more than one crash. There was actually two crashes. There was one in Roswell, New Mexico, and there was actually one in Russia around the same
Oh.
time. And of course, you have advanced technology mixed with war, let's say heightened wartime, so it becomes an arms race. And so that's pretty much when the conspiracies and the cover-ups honestly started happening. Was
The
it
air
came
balloon.
out of it came out of
Oh, yeah,
we need to keep this
Weather
secret.
balloon.
So we can reverse this technology and have a one-up. That's all really came down to. And then after that, it says, oh well, people can't handle the truth, because if they knew extraterrestrial life existed, people are going to freak out. It's like, no, they're not. Everyone knows
Yes.
anyway.
Well,
but that's kind of where it started.
You
Was
can't handle the truth.
It became an
Well,
arms
Ren.
race. Aliens became an arms race.
Well, Ren, if people knew back then that we are not the only life forms within this universe, or with anything of that sort, do you know how weird the world would get? People
Honestly, do you think it would get
believing-
weirder?
I don't
Yes,
think
it would get weird.
Like,
Considering looking
I
at
don't
us
think
right
about
now.
No,
got a point.
I'm talking like the advance of technology would be so freaking quick, because we would have already had the original touchscreen iPhone in the early 70s if we still use the technology of that time. But think about it, from where we are sitting now, from that time period of the
Roswell.
I just had a brain fart.
Yep.
But
But saying that,
basically, we wouldn't be sitting here
Sorry.
like this. We would be physically sitting next to each other due to the advance of technology and teleportation, flight, all of that.
But that
Mhm.
still doesn't mean that it's the work of the aliens. That's just okay. It's a theory, yes.
Hmm.
But can you always? I mean, you can't just say, okay, if aliens existed, we would have this advanced technology. We already have advanced technology, artificial intelligence. I mean,
I was just gonna say, the advancements in the technology we've got nowadays, the progression for what we have has actually been, if you really look at it, very quick. Going
Yeah.
from your basic computer for what it was, let's say back in the 80s, for example,
Mhm.
when the first home desktop computer came to be, it was this black and green screen thing, and let's
yeah.
80s to now, that time frame. I mean, you look how advanced
How
just your
fast.
basic home computer is in that short span. It's not actually that far. I mean, I know I make jokes being an 80s child and all that lot, and I say I'm an old man, I've been around many years and all that lot, but it isn't really that long. And that does make you wonder if it was the from
Leak technology.
crashed aliens, looking at that technology and then advancing. I mean, again, you've got things like mobile phones. They went from being this brick that would give you cancer
Nokia.
as soon as you make a phone call, to tiny little matchbox sized phone in your hand. Oh, but okay, phones are getting bigger
Well-
again, but that's because again they're advancing so quickly again, and you're now smartphones, touch screen, and all that lot, and Face ID and things like that. It's
I still
Well,
don't
you
think
look
we can
at-
say that could be alien work
Mhm.
because people are getting smarter, but they're also getting stupider. Is that a word?
yes.
More stupid.
Yes, that
But
is
there
definitely a
is
thing.
a
I think
new
it's-
generation of people that knows what they're doing. They're more advanced. They're more because of the advanced technology.
Building on.
They have more knowledge now that they can create even more. Like look at the robot Sophie. She is advanced. She can literally go in and say, "Oh, by then and then the Earth would be overtaken by robots or whatever if you continue this path."
Skynet.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's another thing too. Is you look from like you were saying back in the days of those first green screen computers to not a very large jump to today, and we're looking at the first singularity actually happening because technology's gotten to the point where they're actually, I guess, the concern of them actually becoming self-aware and actually surpassing us as humans.
Yeah. And you have to wonder as well if computer coding is actually alien language.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's another thing too. Like, okay, let's say our planet is being visited, and there's a lot of first-person witnesses who's actually, had contact with these, and they said there's more than one race out there. But one of the things they said too is a lot of them are very mechanical. What if, these alien races sent their version of a drone out, a robot out to explore, and we're not actually making contact with the actual race that sent them. We're just making contact with
Mission abort. He's onto us. He's onto us. Mission abort.
But okay,
But I mean,
question.
Hmm?
I know we're talking about intelligence and with aliens and such, but can we honestly say that there wouldn't be a race out there that's more stupid than human? They
Yeah, I
can't
reckon there
all
could
be
be.
advanced. They can't
They-
all be clever.
No.
But you have to figure the
there's
ones that
bound
would
to
be
be-
able to come and visit us.
But who
Yeah,
invented
there's bound to be a primitive alien race.
Yeah, but who invented the Martians? Like, who decided they were supposed to look like that? I mean, where does that idea come from? With aliens, yes, I know monsters, blah blah blah. But there are specific, like the green men. Why are they green?
Mhm.
Because obviously they being portrayed as great most
Mhm.
of the time. They're not even green. Hi, honey.
Trekkie. Hello.
He was this high.
He was this high, yes.
Well,
But that's just what I'm wondering. But okay, if you have
Hmm.
to like say, do you ever think you have met an alien?
Yes.
And if yes, why? And how?
Well, that I can tell you that I unfortunately do have first-person experience with that. Back about the time I was born to 17, but that's not really something I talk about too much. But I can tell you that they don't look like anything you see in the pictures, and they're not gray.
Yeah. Mm. I can imagine that, yeah.
I
mean,
haven't,
you
but I
see a
would
lot.
love to.
Hmm?
Depends if they're
Yeah, I'd
trying
love
to
to.
eat your feet first.
Hey, if
Mm.
I go out like
I
a
mean, you
boss, I
never
go
know.
out like a boss.
And they
Hey,
could have a
my
face like a
fucking Oh, predator. Mm,
Yes.
I
Well,
don't.
I think.
I have.
Continue, honey.
I don't think I've ever met an alien, and if I have, I will be stupid enough to not notice.
Well, there is so one of the things like because like I said, there are more than one race visiting this planet, and there is some that have in fact that have actually made contact with in their with some of these individuals, and they say they for the most part are indistinguishable from human.
Hmm.
Except for a few small variants. They say that there's a race out there that's almost identical to humans, close enough to
Yeah, I can
if
imagine
they
that.
dress in if they could dress in human
I can
clothing
imagine that. Yeah.
and hide a few things.
Yes.
I can imagine that.
I can too. Mhm. I think we're in concurrence here. Damn
Do
tracking.
you know what I reckon? I personally reckon it's. I take the theory from. Is it? Put my teeth in. Was it Star Trek that they don't actually? They might be watching us, and that's why there's the occasional encounter that you hear about and things like that. But piecing it all together, I reckon it's a similar sort of thing with Star Trek, where they won't actually interact fully until they have reached a pinnacle point in their technology. And I think, was it for Star Trek that when they were able to reach,
The prime directive.
creating warp drive or something, and then they would beam down and go, "Hi, greetings,"
The point where they could actually leave their planet and go extrasolar, which I think would probably be. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons that you see such a huge spike within the last few years of encounters, is because I mean, you look at us. I mean, we had back in the 60s we had one moon launch and nothing, and now we're flying, into space almost, on a daily now. It's becoming just normal part of life, and I think they're seeing that. And it's like, oh wait, they're getting close.
Okay.
Because you do see this huge spike in encounters.
Now,
Theory.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is the Mothman
Yes.
or Skinwalkers just aliens?
all right,
Actually,
everybody, that
yes.
was today's episode.
Shut up.
No, I wonder because actually, I can actually believe that because again, it's going off of a film. Well, it was actually a Japanese anime, but they did a film as well. The Guyver, and it was they were talking about the guy of a unit and like, oh, it was this suit of armor that
Hmm.
went in your body, and then all of a sudden, ping, pronounced, and then you became this badass fighter, and it's like it's fucking amazing. Watch it; it's really good. But the point of what it was, the aliens came down to Earth and they sort of experimented on the primitive cavemen and all that lot, and then they turned them into like monsters. And so all the stories you hear about werewolves, vampires, the sea creature, from the Black Lagoon or whatever it is, they were actually aliens.
Hmm.
Which it sort of fitted quite well with the storyline, because it's sort of like, yeah, they don't, you don't see vampires and all that lot, or technically you don't nowadays, or werewolves and that. But if they were to see it as like they did exist in years ago history and all that lot, you can understand why they'd be extinct now, because the aliens left or something happened and they died or whatever, and then yeah.
Well, I mean,
I-
that it carries with. Oh, go ahead.
No, continue.
Well, it carries on for a lot of things like what they call ancient aliens, stuff like that, because they have been here for a very, very, very long time, way longer than what we really conceive. And like you look at a lot of like the Vermana of India, they're basically describing a flying craft, a UFO. You look at even in the Bible, like the Book of Enoch and a couple other things, what they're describing is very much like a
Mayans.
Vermana out of the Mayans. There's a lot of Mayan pictures and stuff like that that show in great detail. And the thing is you have all these different cultures that have no contact with each other, but they're describing the exact same thing, and they look like, well, if I were to take something that I had seen out of a history book and describe it to someone without telling them where I got it from, they say, oh, well, that's a UFO.
Yeah. I think the film
know.
Stargate is a very good example of that, because it was
exactly.
obviously, okay, it was a special gate that the aliens created, but the whole Egyptian deities and all that lot, they were aliens from a dying planet, and they came to Earth and ruled it basically, and that was a very good interpretation of a theory that could be plausible.
Okay.
Like I say,
Potato chips. Do you have any theories about aliens? What is your theory? Please let us know. Make a comment down below and we will check it out, and let's see if we share the same opinion. But please, any of you have any stories about aliens, leave them down
we
below.
want to hear your personal experiences.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we'll hopefully do a follow-up episode on this.
Yeah, in
Yes.
fact, if you enjoy our discussions into UFOs and stuff like that, leave comments, and I think this would be a great subject to explore on another After Dark.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, any last theories?
I still believe Uncle Touchy's an alien.
Uncle Touchy. I love that name.
Well, the thing is he has to sniff to make sure if it's one of his own or a human. It's just a sniff test.
Okay, like I was saying, any last theories except for that one?
Not a theory, but on a point of encounters, there was when I was growing up, we used to have nearby where I lived a big lake, and it was on particular nights, and it wasn't a case of it's a red moon and all that lot. You literally on particular nights you used to see a glowing red disc flying around. I went funny then, flying around the lake and the surrounding forestry area and things like that. And it was just you knew it wasn't like just a red moon, because it was moving, and it definitely wasn't a drone or anything like that, because they didn't have drones back then. So, that we know of. So that's my only UFO encounter I could really say that I've seen.
I have a little funny one. So visiting my friend in South Korea, and there's a lot of smog, so you barely see stars. We're at the countryside, and she was like, "Oh my God, look at that big star!" I'm just like, "Sweetheart, that's a satellite." It was the only thing that was on the sky. You could just see like. Beep, beep, beep.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a satellite.
Well, one of the things too, just real quickly, like one of the things that do happen like that can't, even though they try their best to cover it up, that happened is like there was a few years ago, there was an event called the Phoenix Lights. It's over Phoenix, Arizona, which is a major metropolis. And this was caught by a lot of different people with their cell phones, with their cameras and stuff like that, high resolution. And of this very, very, very large ship hovering over the city of Phoenix, Arizona, and moving, and it was there for a long, like it was witnessed by the entire city, and it wasn't just like flashbang, it was gone. It stayed there for a long time. Like people are even actually go in the mountains overlooking it and actually take better photos of it and stuff. And oh well, no, that was a military exercise, and those were flares that they had dropped and stuff like that. And it's like, over a major populated city, flares do fall, and this thing was hovering over the city and then moving diagonally.
I smell
Again,
bullshit.
drones. So yet again, drones.
But some of them actually see in the face of, from the lights, they could actually see the face of a triangular ship.
Did you have one last theory? Or sorry.
No.
I was gonna make another joke, but no.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about
Well,
probing?
I think we have ventured. I think we have already been in on the whole alien thing. Theories. We ventured into cryptids and government conspiracies. If you have anything you want us to cover, like any kind of subject except for politics,
Birds aren't real.
there. Please send us an email, contact us here on VR chat, send us a message on our Discord. Everything is in the description below. Also support us on our Patreon. Go in and look at our TikTok. There will be new videos again soon. And I think that was it. I hope there's no more aliens because it was weird being one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Though I do enjoy the probing. What?
Oh, no.
Dear. Oh dear.
Nope.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. We love you
Benny Hill,
guys.
hang on.
To all potato tips, take care, be safe, lots of love, and don't let the alien get you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, and my final comment of the day. My words of wisdom. And just bring my list up. If at first you don't succeed, then skydiving's not for you.
Broken.
Oh hell no.
Oh god.
Come here, pretty boy.